Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us for episode 17 of Intercoin to Play. I am your host, Greg. With me, as always, is Ariel.
Yep.
And Cheech.
What's up?
So we got a lot of games to talk about, a lot of games that we want to talk about, so we're just going to do a quick new releases that came out in the past 2 weeks, since we didn't have a show last week. Some real-life complications, but, can't do anything about that. So, we'll start with one new release that came out back in May 13th, Doom.
Doom.
I was actually on the fence of this game. Like, I saw the trailer. Trailer looked like really interesting, but I was just like, I don't know. But then Ariel just kept on talking about it, and I picked it up because of him. And Ariel, you're almost done with it, right?
Yeah, I'm just about done with it.
So besides what you told me about the game, let's tell the audience what you thought.
It's just a lot of fun, man. Like I feel like this is the running theme this year, where like developers are just going back to the roots in gaming and just making things fun again. You know, not making things so serious all the time. And you know, the first one was, for me at least, Ratchet and Clank. Prior to that, probably Amplitude even, where I was just like, I'm just having fun playing this rhythm game. And then, you know, Ratchet and Clank, you have Overwatch and Doom. I'm like, you know, there's so many companies who are just doing this and just making games fun again to play, without being bogged down by so many like heavy themes, which is fine. You kind of need a balance of both of them, but Doom, man, it's awesome. I've had so much fun with that single player campaign.
Yeah, that once I picked it up and I started playing it after you recommended it, it's really fast paced. I mean, I got it for the PS4 because I like, I prefer it on consoles.
Physical. Yeah,
the physical. But the way it's just really fast paced, you can stun them when you shoot them, and then you go in for the melee kill. It's
glory
just
kills. Oh,
there's glory kills.
That shit never gets tiring, man. I love doing those things.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. And a lot of different enemies so far. Like, as far as I'm in the game, I think there's, a dozen different enemies I faced with all different properties.
They seem to introduce the different enemy types as you progress throughout the game, it's cool to do. So, like, it makes it easier for you to balance how you want to kind of tackle, like, I guess these arena settings. Because you're going to have some people trying to like shoot you from a distance. Other ones are going to charge at you. So you kind of want to pick and choose it's just constant mayhem when you're actually in a battle. You know, who you want to go after first and who you can ignore and things like that to kind of stay alive. And that's where the glory kill system kind of comes into play, because it keeps you alive.
Yeah.
Like, I'm playing that game on hard right now where I forgot what the difficulty is called. So there, especially as you progress, there are instances where you're just having things coming at you from all sides, and you're just like, God damn, and like these glory kills just come through for you, especially when you need them. It's great.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, when you do shoot your enemies and you stun them, they'll glow a certain color, and the glory kills will basically be an animation where he rips their head off, rips off their arm, and beats them with it, and if you're low on health or at medium health, a health pack will pop out of them. So that's the benefit of actually seeing these animations. It's not just because it's gory, it's actually beneficial for you.
Yep.
But I just love the whole game compared to all the different, Call of Duty and Battlefield, where has become more of a sit back, cover.
Cover shooters.
Cover shooters come out, snipe them, and then just slowly progress from cover to cover. Like, this one's just straight run and gun. Yeah,
it keeps you on your toes, especially when you're on there. But the nice thing about it also is that it kind of harkens back to Doom, like original Doom.
Yeah,
in terms of the exploration, which kind of opens it up a little bit more. And I don't find exploring boring at all. Like, it's like a nice little respite from just shooting all the time. Like, because after you get into some of these battles, you're just like, God damn, I need a break after that one. You're doing some platforming, trying to, explore, find some things, and even that is fun.
Yeah, just the whole dimensions of it, because the original Doom was always just run and gun. Yeah, and in this one you don't really even zoom, unless there's like two guns.
Yeah, there's some mods you got for certain guns that allow you to zoom.
But majority I've been using the shotgun and the machine gun.
Oh, the Gauss gun. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and both of them. One zooms a little just because he shoots the rockets, the shotgun, and the other one kind of does, it changes the cursor.
Yeah.
And it shoots a mini rocket, so.
Yeah, and it has the whole upgrading system to the weapons where, exploring actually comes into play, whereby not only killing enemies, but completing like the challenges and collecting all the secrets and all that stuff grants you more points that you can apply to Doom Guy and the weapons. So, there's progression there.
Yes.
And it's fine. Especially, like, you feel it coming in. Especially again as you progress further and further through the game, because your weapons start becoming stronger. Like the machine gun type gun that you were talking about just recently, It has like this little missile launcher thing that it does as one of its mods. And as you upgrade that, like you can continuously shoot them instead of just shooting the regular bullets, which is awesome, man. It's just there's a lot to it. It's a lot of fun for sure.
That's the one I'm upgrading next. Like I finished the shotgun, and then once you upgrade it the third time, you have to do the little challenge where you have to get the direct shots.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me try the next one. So that's what I'm working on. But yeah, I highly recommend it if you like a single player running gun shooter. You're not gonna be pretty much in cover the whole time like all the other Call of Duties and Battlefield games. And if you like first person shooters, this game, its strength is its single player. Its multiplayer really isn't. I don't even think that many people play multiplayer.
When I went in, it was quick matches. There was whatever. It's not genre defining by any means. It's just, to me, what feels like if you've played Call of Duty, you've played Halo, think of any other multiplayer shooter, you've already played the Doom shooter, multiplayer portion of the game. It's really no different, just a little faster, pickups and stuff. It doesn't really do anything.
Okay, yeah.
It's not bad by any means. It's just nothing new. Like you've done it before.
Yeah, Doom was not meant or known for a multiplayer.
It was it was always Quake, right, Cheech?
Yeah, Quake is the one for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, play a single player, a lot of fun. If you even have to get it at a discount, go for it.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah. If you had to choose between Doom and the next couple of games I'm going to talk about, like Homefront, which came out that Tuesday, which was May 17th, Doom scores a lot better. Because I hear there's a lot of technical issues with Homefront, The Revolution. And I actually picked up the prequel before it, when it came out. And I picked it up
2011 or so?
Yeah. And I picked it up at like bargain sale because I was like, I heard about this game, but the game wasn't really anything special.
Yeah. Apparently this one, even if technical issues weren't there, apparently the game in itself wasn't really anything special either. It had like a lot of great ideas from what I've read that just weren't implemented very well.
Okay, so get Doom. me and Ariel recommend Doom. Other new releases that came out, we have Valkyrie Chronicles Remastered for PS4. Great strategy game if you guys didn't play it. PC players finally get to play Salt and Sanctuary, which is the 2D Dark Souls game I was talking about several episodes before. Totally worth it. If you like Dark Souls, there's a lot of similarities. A lot of eerie similarities. Almost plagiarism type similarities.
You gonna hump on that?
Yeah. Like when you kill a boss and it makes a sound, like it almost has the same sound. It's crazy.
I remember watching you play. It borrows a lot from Dark Souls, but it still has its own identity, which is what's cool. And like a lot of companies do it where they get inspiration from other games and they kind of make it their own. Yeah, but Salt and Sanctuary seemed like a lot of fun. I'll probably end up picking it up on PC at some point.
Do it. Another game that grabbed inspiration from other games, which we're going to talk more about, which came out this week, which we were really hyped to play. Overwatch.
Cheers, mate. The game is finally here.
Not the Overwatch porn either, just the game.
Rule 34? Overwatch, yes. So it's a game that we've been waiting a good amount. Ever since the beta, we had a tremendous time. And we're going to talk about that more later. Just because of this huge argument that we kind of had in our little private chat about Overwatch and Street Fighter and how it was released and amount of content. And we'll explain that later. But there was another game that came out this week that Ariel was supposed to play because he was really interested. But then when he found out, he was like, no, he capped it at that. Fuck that.
No.
And of course, that would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutants in Manhattan. And you guys hear that name and you're like, oh, that sounds like trash. But considering it's being developed by Platinum Games, or was developed by Platinum Games, you expect a certain pedigree of game development behind that. Granted, some people may not like the character action shooter sort of thing, the Devil May Cries, the Bayonettas, so on and so forth. But usually all their games are kind of revolve around that. Unfortunately, with this game, they tried to go for it, and the way in which they kind of tackled the Transformers game, Devastation, which I actually had a lot of fun with, and they just failed miserably. I mean, they went on record on the Kind of Funny cast, the producer at least, and said that the reasons that they kind of didn't bother doing local co-op or anything like that is because they don't want to compromise the 60 FPS kind of performance of the game. Shit, where is that though? Like, what happened there? You know what I mean? Come release, not only on console but on PC, the game is hard locked at 30 FPS. Which is a big no-no for me at that point. I had the game pre-purchased because I was, sort of excited for it. Just refunded it on Steam. I didn't even want to bother. I'll wait for like a mod or a sale or something. Probably check it out at that point. But even then, the game's not supposed to be all that inspiring or, very good.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's kind of disappointing.
And it's not even so much the fact that a lot of people are saying that, it gets repetitive and stuff like that. It's just the AI is not very intuitive, and the boss characters a lot of them are pretty weak in the way in which you kind of handle them. It just seems like it wasn't even their B team. It was probably like their D team working on this game.
You know what's the crazy part is, Platinum Games. The last release game that they worked on was Star Fox.
Star Fox, yeah.
And then this one is, and now you got to wonder why the president or the director, why he stepped down or left the company.
Yeah, but there came a certain point in time with Platinum Games where they just started doing a lot, or more, I should say, more licensed content. Because if you remember, Platinum used to do just their own games, from Vanguard, which unfortunately I still haven't played that game. And
Vanquish?
Vanquish Vanguard.
Okay.
Yeah, Vanquish, yeah.
Awesome game.
They kind of had, the specific style that they were going for. And it was, I guess, at that point in time, they were just that one team. And as they got more of a fan base, more people buying their games, trying to make more money. And they were like, well, we could probably expand and create a second team. Because, they do have an A and B team. The A team handles their main franchises and, whatever they're working on currently, kind of like Scalebound. Then they have their other teams that kind of keep them afloat financially while they're developing these AAA games. And unfortunately, this one seems to have been a miss.
That bad?
Yeah.
Well, bargain bin purchased then?
Yeah, this one's going to be a pickup on a sale for me.
Okay.
See, Summers Rush just around the corner.
Yeah. The problem is that it's Activision, though. So those guys, the lowest they ever go is $20.
Are you sure? Because COD still rocking like 40 and 50. That's like 5-6-year-old games.
Yeah, I know, man.
All you gotta do is just let me know what games you're looking for, and I'll let you know when they go on sale. Because I'm always scouting those different pages. From Cheap Ass Gamer to SlickDeals.net. Really good two places to get like inputs, because people post it like that.
Yeah, I normally go to Deals On. That's mostly because they post a lot of PC stuff, but we'll see.
Deals on? I'll try that for PC stuff.
I mean, they show you like a lot of different things, but yeah, I mostly go there for PC.
All right, cool. Maybe check that out later.
For instance,
Like,
Deals
what?
On.
Are they talking about
Battleborn Digital Deluxe version, which is normally $75,
$40?
$33.74 on Green Man Gaming.
Oh, it's down to 33.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Yeah. So
Oh, well, the camera is there. I mean, I just don't understand why they aren't even trying to compete. There's two different games.
Yeah,
like,
it
it's
makes
just
no
like
sense.
I don't know. Like, it's two different audience. You have a mobile first-person shooter, and then you have a tactical team-based first-person shooter.
Honestly, I blame a lot of that on the media for improperly, giving people information about these games actually are. Oh, they're hero-based shooters, so yeah, they're competing in the same market when they're really not. You know?
You know what it is though? It's Battleborn is Battleborn. If you guys didn't know, is made by the same people who made Borderlands, and the whole greatest thing about Borderlands, it's how creative they get with the characters.
Yep.
So Battleborn itself, like each individual person actually has like their own persona. Their persona follows their special powers and how they attack. But it's a MOBA. That's how it is gameplay.
Yeah.
But it's that colorful, vibrant world. Overwatch does the same thing in terms of color, not the same colors, but same vibrant type characters.
Yeah.
Each person with their own personality.
And I'd actually say
their
Overwatch
roles.
pulls it off better.
Yep, Overwatch pulls it off better, to be honest.
Because really all the characters seem very much unique. And not to say that the characters in Battleborn don't. It's just they seem to borrow a lot from Borderlands. Like the type of personalities you would find in Borderlands. So it kind of feels like something you've experienced before, unfortunately. And that's something that, for people who have played Borderlands and are going to this game, is going to probably feel a little stale.
Yeah. And you know what another thing is? I think Battleborn itself seems like it was actually more focused towards like the console players than PC, and that's what makes Overwatch so much better. Because Overwatch is made by Blizzard, if you guys don't know, and Blizzard's been around forever. They're one of the top PC game developers, and they have like not a habit, but if you buy a Blizzard game, they're gonna support it for a very long time. Like, even if you go like a couple months back, they just released patches where you can play Warcraft 3 and Diablo 2 on Windows 10 PCs.
Yeah, they're pretty loyal to their fans when it comes to that.
Yeah, and I mean they're constantly doing updates for Diablo. Like, Cheech, did you try any of Season 6?
For Diablo?
Yeah.
I actually try to convert my paladin, which is showing level 1 right now, and I guess it's going to be level 1 forever now. Because I did not play it. So,
that's one of the reasons why I got Overwatch for PCs, is because, one, the ecosystem is within all the Blizzard games that I have, and two, I know that game is just going to be constantly updated throughout its life cycle.
And the good part about it is it's free DLC.
Yeah, a little grind, but it's fun, and we'll talk more about that later. Cheech, any other games that you played like this past week?
No, it's all been Overwatch, WoW, Heroes of the Storm. We did a few matches together as well. Yeah,
that was pretty fun. Me and my friend Tom and Cheech, me and Tom were doing Cho'Gall. And if you guys don't know, in Heroes of the Storm, Cho'Gall is one character with two heads, and each player controls a head.
What?
Yeah. So, one guy controls the body and has a set of special moves, and the other guy controls another set of special moves, but he can't move the body. So, what I would do, like, I would control body, and my friend Tom would control the head, and he's just shooting, like, blasting, and I'll just run into a group of mobs and, like, clothesline, and then we'll both die.
That's a pretty interesting design choice.
I will go aimlessly freaking trying to heal the guys that are trying to rush into everybody in there.
Yeah, so it's fun. And that's one of the games where I got into the alpha and I got into the beta. Playing it with people you don't know, it's just like, that's okay. But when I started playing with Cheech and our friend Tom, we were like, oh, this is so much fun. But cool. Well, let's go through some of the other news. There's a bunch of news that we missed out, but I'm just going to go through it quickly because our biggest topics that we're going to talk about today is Uncharted, the reviews on that, and then we'll talk about Overwatch because we love Overwatch. And there's a reason why we love Overwatch, which is the biggest thing. So, two weeks ago, there's Cheech's dog, if you guys heard that.
Yeah, she's just scratching herself.
Oh, nice. Owls too. But anyway, so 2 weeks ago, there was a report that the Division player base shrunk by like 80% since launch.
Good lord.
And with Overwatch, I can see it shrinking more.
I mean, it just keeps shrinking. I mean, their latest patch that they just released, I was just looking at it. I mean, it's pretty much a disaster with just new game-breaking bugs, which includes random puddles of water, blinding and setting your character on fire. Like, I just don't know how they just keep screwing that game up. Like, at this point, we just get the idea that in order for them to fix all these bugs for this game, they just need to rebuild it. There's just no way. Like, they just, whatever they build it with, the code is just messed up. And this game got delayed a lot, and it just still released a crappy game like that.
I'm telling you, the cheating in that is supposed to be rampant on PC. And I was like, see, this game could have been a single player game. I think they switched it mid-development.
It has a single player for for all intents and purposes. But it's all right. I mean, the game it's fun, especially when you start playing. It's fun. Then as you kind of start hitting that, end game and whatever, you're just like, by the time you reach it, or at least this is how I felt, where I was just like, okay, I think I've seen everything that I needed to experience. I think I'm done. And that's it. That was it. The division with me. And I'm sure there's still people playing it, but especially with something like Overwatch coming out, and you look at the Twitch numbers on that, I just don't see anybody really putting in as much time as it seems like they're going to be putting into Overwatch into any other like online shooter. I mean, for comparison's sake, Overwatch has dethroned League of Legends on Twitch.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And me and Cheech one of our good friends, Jamin, he plays on the PS4 one. And he was pretty hardcore in the division. Mm-hmm. And now he went back to Destiny, even before Overwatch came, was released. He went back to Destiny, and now he's on Overwatch, so.
Yep. And it's funny to say, even though, you mentioned that Overwatch dethroned League of Legends the launch day, it is still the case up to today. Like, Overwatch has 94,000, while League of Legends has only 70,000. And that's just today after release for a while.
Yeah, right. Wow.
So it's still ongoing. And this is not even, the game does not have ranked mode yet, which should be come out in June, which is just even it's just gonna make it even better.
Yep.
Yeah, we're good, but we're not that good for competitive.
And, on the division topic, it kind of sucks because they had it going there, and granted, this is one of Ubisoft's first games like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and if we've learned anything from Ubisoft, is if something is successful, they will reiterate on it and make a new one that's better. Hopefully. If we're going based on the Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2. If we're going based on that. Then maybe the Division 2? Who knows?
I mean, they made all the money they wanted to make out of the game. They broke, everybody bought it, whatever. That's all they wanted.
Yeah. Speaking of sequels, they actually didn't officially announce it, but there's Watch Dogs 2 coming. So, I didn't mind the first one. I don't know what kind of expectations everyone had for the first Watch Dogs, but I enjoyed it.
I didn't get around to finishing, actually, and that was mostly because, on release, it had a lot of problems, man. So I just couldn't put it down.
That's what I was going to say. Wasn't it broken on PC?
Yeah, it was a mess, man. And I just never got around to going back to it. Even though I was enjoying it, though, what I did get to play, I was enjoying the game. It's just the technical issue just kind of set it back.
Okay. Well, maybe they'll fix it in Watch Dogs 2, just like Assassin's Creed.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, I played the game on console eventually, and Xbox beat it there.
Another quick thing, and Cheech is very happy about this. The NVIDIA conference was during our break for the GTX 1080. There's the official benchmarks for them. And Cheech, how good is the 1080?
It's looking pretty damn good. Some games are showing to be actually 30% improvement over the 980 Ti, which is huge. This is talking about single card performance, not SLI. It's to the point where, I guess my coworker is interested in buying my 980 Ti, and I might actually buy a 1080. So it's just going to be one of these weekends where I'm like, okay, the game comes out Friday. The card comes out Friday. Maybe I just show up in Micro Center on Saturday and just come home with a freaking 1080.
You know that's going to be sold out that day.
Do not do it, Cheech. Do not get the reference card.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Aren't you waiting for the overclocked one too?
Well, we'll see. I don't know. Because the game, AVGA also is selling the cards, the reference card
Founders
with their
Edition.
Yeah, the Founders Edition is just reference. Well, by those who don't know, the Founders Edition is technically basically just the typical NVIDIA reference cards. Don't get me wrong. I like how they look.
Yeah,
I have right now. I do have a reference card, 980 Ti, that is overclocked already. I like the look. It looks nice, and I rather have a card that the exhaust is outside the case. I'd rather have that. That's a good point because it keeps the heat goes straight out. Doesn't stay in your computer. The computer says, cool. I love that. EVJ is actually releasing their new overclocking software with a nice little auto mode that overclocks it for you with the 1080 for the Pascal specifically. So maybe
GPU boost, right? I think they currently have that on EVJ Precision X or whatever it's called.
Yeah, they had that. They're improving it now, coming out just for that card. A new version just for that card that does it automatically for you now.
Okay, wow.
So, I mean, if that's the case, I mean, I don't really need to wait for the OC, because that's basically what they do with the OC version.
You really don't, especially because it has a blower type cooler, like you said, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, you could overclock it yourself. So.
And based on what we're seeing on reviews, the card is highly overclockable with no issues at all.
Okay.
So, I don't know. So, yeah.
But it's that extra $100 though, Cheech, man.
But like I said, I do love their design and I love the blower kind of type of thing. That's my main concern is heat inside the computer, and they're designed for that car and usually keeps it cool. It just works for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll sell my cards and try to get one for Legion. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, really good card. Most of the benchmark, even there's not too many benchmarks for the 1070, which is supposed to be the cheaper version.
The 1070 is beating the 980 Ti.
It is beating the 980 Ti. Okay.
Yeah.
No, because I saw the initial reports, but I didn't know they did the fully real test.
Yeah, I saw there was a chart, and it's actually literally beating it.
Oh wow, so that's really good. And that's only for 400 too. So.
And the kicker too is doing really well in the X12.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, the 1070 is beating the 980 Ti and the Titan X, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, especially I feel bad for people who bought that.
Or at least by doing really well in the X12, it's outperforming the cards that were previously owning, like all of NVIDIA's cards, right? On the AMD's front. So that's always good to see, especially considering the X12 is probably going to be the future. And well, I'm not even sure what's going to happen, but we'll see, I guess.
Oh wow. Yeah, I saw this chart, but what I'm wondering is how it performs on SLI versus SLI.
Stop getting SLI.
Well, no. I'm not against my SLI. That's what I meant.
I mean, your SLI is almost equivalent to like a 980 Ti in a way.
Okay, yeah, that's what.
Maybe a 980, both of them. So yeah, it's still beating it by shitload.
It's still beating it by 10%, but. No, not as badly as I was thinking. More news, some good ones. Civilization 6 is announced. Man, I love Civilization.
So
I never got into it.
It's a good chill game. Like you just play, you just relax.
The problem with Civ, which Greg, I'm sure you can attest to this. The moment you start, you're done for like the next 6 hours.
Yeah,
it's horrible, man. It's horrible.
But it's fun because you're expanding your cities, and then it flies though. Once you start,
well, it's horrible in the sense that your time management skills just kind of go out of the window, man.
Yeah,
because it's like what you just played. Let's say 3 hours, you feel like you've been in the game for like half an hour or something.
Yeah, it's still a lot of fun. I didn't pick up Beyond Earth. What's that last one?
Yeah, Beyond Earth was the one.
Yeah, that didn't look as good, but this one's an official sequel, so I'm kind of happy about that. Other ones, they're gonna be new news for Tomb Raider at E3, which I still find E3 irrelevant because there's so many talks of an announcement prior to E3. Because right now there's a Mortal Kombat 3 combo pack 3 teased. They have Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2 announced. They have Resident Evil 7 will be announced at E3, but by announcing that, you already announced it. Gran Turismo Sport's coming out in November.
It's basically an enhanced Gran Turismo.
It's pretty much just going to be, the hype machine.
Yeah, I mean, at least maybe it'll be a better playable version. Because it's weird with Gran Turismo. I'm hearing like conflicting reports of how like two publications says that the graphics aren't that good, and two other ones saying it's better. They're like, oh, we know it's 50% done, but we've seen stuff when it's actually how it's supposed to look. So yeah, I don't know who to go by. But 50% done and it comes out in November.
For me, at this point with Gran Turismo, I feel like Forza, like in terms of like Sony, Microsoft, like Nintendo IPs, did the right thing by releasing it on PC, and now that game could look even better. So it's just like, I don't know, I don't know. Because I'm sure the game's still going to have aliasing, and then you're going to see it. And, well, for me at least, I'm just going to be like, I'd rather play Forza, I guess. Or, Project Cars or whatever other racing game that I can play on PC.
Yeah. And Forza has been announced to be coming out for PC anyway, so. Especially with they have that Apex one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unravel 2 has been announced. They're actually making that one. So, I don't know what the point of E3 is anymore, except to see gameplay videos. Which, with all these games, you're probably going to see gameplay videos later on anyway. I mean, the amount of information that used to trickle out of E3 back when there was no internet, it was awesome because you're like, oh, this is coming out. You get huge issues of EGM. You find out what's coming out. Now information is so quick. I don't know why we need E3.
It's still an event, and ultimately, what you do with E3, or what E3 is celebrating gaming to an extent. So it's something to get gamers hyped about, to see what's coming, the bigger announcements. That's usually where you see those things.
Yeah, but you know what? Gamescom does it a lot better because that one is a gamers event.
Yeah,
that's the one where actual gamers go to, not just publications.
Yeah.
E3, it's 3 days of publications and 1 day for gamers.
No, do they even have a day for gamers?
I think they did that for 1 year, if I recall, and then they just cut it out the year after.
Yeah, I mean, if E3 was still like gamer together in there, it would still be pumping. But the moment they made it media only, that's just when it started dying. Yeah,
look, Les, why do you think EA pulled out and they're having their own event? Microsoft is doing their offsite event also. I don't know if Sony's doing one. But there's like 4 or 5 companies that are having offsite events, not at E3.
Yeah.
Disney's like one of them. That pulled out, but I think they might have an offsite one. Blizzard and Activision did it a while ago because they have their own stuff.
Yeah, I feel like this is going hand in hand with the current trend in the market or the industry, where developers and just people in general are realizing that you don't really need a lot of these media outlets anymore. You really don't.
No.
Like, they can speak directly to their fan bases.
Yeah.
And that's a major thing, whether it be through YouTube, personalities who already connect with hundreds of thousands of people and millions. Like, why is IGN as relevant? Why is GameSpot as relevant? Or all these other companies? I mean, in my opinion, I feel like as time progresses, these outlets are going to become less important. And that kind of shows by the current, state of where the developers stand with things like E3. Like, if they could show what they're developing more so to the fans, like a Gamescom or something like that, or even what was the recent one that was held in Austin? DreamHack. Those events like that, I think it's better for them. Because, you go directly to the fan base as opposed to having it filtered out through the media outlets.
Yeah. What else? There's PAX East, PAX West.
Yeah, there's just so
PAX South. There's just all these different events, and E3 is not like it's not irrelevant. It's just it seems
becoming
like
irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's starting to show its age.
Yeah. But one big thing I'm excited about E3 is there is a rumor that they are going to do a Demon's Souls remastered. Because the group that did...
I am in. Take my money. I'm finally in, Greg.
Well, you're going to be happy about this.
30 FPS.
No. It's the people.
Thank you, Cheech.
It's the group. It's rumored as it's Blue Point, and they're the ones that made the Uncharted collection.
Yeah, they're pretty good after.
And Uncharted collection is what 1080, 60 frames per second. So you can only hope. Because that one's a really good one.
Oh man, I'll be in.
But and another good rumor that's out floating around is that the next Spider-Man game is being made by Sucker Punch.
Interesting. Yeah. I could actually see them making a decent Spider-Man game considering the Infamous series.
Exactly. So that's pretty cool. So I'll go through these other news. You know what? Oh yeah, Pokemon Sun and Moon was already announced. Mm-hmm. Nintendo's not going to have anything for their show except for Zelda. Which, me and Cheech already decided that when Nintendo, during E3, Nintendo's going to just have a stream for the new Zelda. But you can play it at the Nintendo store during E3, which is June 14th to 16th.
Yeah,
Bring on the big line.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, hopefully not. But we'll see. Other good rumors floating around. PlayStation Neo 4.5 is supposed to be shown at the fall, that they're not going to show it at E3. Which in the fall is either Tokyo Game Show or Paris Game Week. Today we had news breakout for new Xboxes. One being what we were talking about last week, and Cheech told you guys, was in February they were mass producing some Xboxes, which might be the slim version.
Yeah.
Right? And then next year... Sorry, go ahead, Cheech.
No, yeah. It seems like the slim boxes was going to hit this year.
So, see, that's the thing. If they're coming out with the slim boxes now and the new system coming out next year, why would you want the slim box?
Yeah.
Maybe what's the price point? I don't know. We don't know how much more expensive the next one's going to be.
You know how much you can get Xbox now? It's like $200.
Yeah.
$250.
I mean, when you're that low in the gaming charts, you have no choice.
Yeah, so...
I mean, pretty much at this point, if you haven't purchased a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One yet, just wait. Wait it out at this point.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say just build a PC. Because I know you would say that.
Well, I mean, yeah, at this point,
that would be the
considering
first
what
choice.
you're going to end up doing is... Like, because in that recent article that was released, I think it was the one... I'm not sure if it was you or Cheech who linked it, where it was kind of... Was it a Kotaku article? I don't even remember. But it was kind of breaking down the fact that Microsoft is looking to tackle it by, similar to the iPhone or Apple release of their products, which would indicate that they're probably targeting like a 2 to 3 year life cycle, maybe.
Yeah.
For these things, and you're going to be upgrading all the time. It's like PC. You know?
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. 3 years. 2 to 3 years. And that's the thing that they're trying to do with the PS4 also, the new PS4 to 4.5 or 4K, whatever you want to call it, where it's annual cycle, maybe 3, 4, and they've told the developers the same thing. Both Microsoft and Sony said the same thing. You have to make games that are compatible with both systems. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll find out at E3. Maybe that's one of the big reveals.
Yep.
Speaking of, actually, yeah, Microsoft released their game with gold, but Sony hasn't. So with games with gold, next week we have Goat Simulator, The Crew, Super Meat Boy, and XCOM, Enemy Unknown.
Super Meat Boy is awesome. XCOM is awesome. So
yeah,
go for those for sure.
Yeah, I love XCOM. I actually never finished Within.
Oh, the expansion?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even touched it. I didn't get around to finishing Unknown, but I dived right into 2 and still haven't finished that.
Yeah, this actually the 31st is when the next Hitman episode 3 comes out. So that's right before our next show. And this weekend they're having another 2-day target, which is
one of their events.
Yeah, one of the events. So on the 27th for 2 days, you have 48 hours to kill one guy. So let's talk about the game of the year, right? We're talking about Uncharted 4.
No, I thought we were talking about Overwatch.
What? Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I want to say right now, as of now, it is my game of the year. Uncharted 4.
Really?
Yeah. I'll give you my explanation now or later. I mean, I did write a whole blog post about it. But now I'm going to write one about Overwatch. You guys can write on one too, if you want. Mm-hmm. But, who finished? You know what? Ariel, you finished it first. What do you think about Uncharted 4?
I loved Uncharted 4, and that's not to say it didn't have any issues, because there's some things that as I was playing, where I'm like, you guys could have probably done this a little bit different. Not sure why you kind of not so much in the story side of the things, but more so on the gameplay side, where I was like, oh, you could have probably tackled this a little differently or handled it. But overall, it's one of those games in terms of Game of the Year contenders for sure, because when it comes to those games, it's kind of like, what are the titles this year that are pushing the genre or the gaming industry forward? And in terms of storytelling, you know, I feel like freaking Uncharted nailed it, man. They definitely killed it. The Witcher. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's why The Witcher got it for last year, though, because the way it did RPGs is something that really hasn't been done to that extent. Yeah. But I feel like Uncharted's doing it for the action genre at this point. And not to say that Tomb Raider wasn't a great game, because in terms of the gameplay for when it came out, if you're comparing like similar games, right? It's just Uncharted had a lot more going for it because of its story. And I feel like that's where it truly shines, where you connect with these people. Even for people who are coming in on the fourth installment of the franchise, you do connect with them. So it's just the storytelling's fantastic. The gameplay I thought was great. But if you're judging the game just based on the gameplay itself, I wouldn't say it's like a freaking masterpiece. You know, it's just the package as a whole is really great. You know? Yeah.
Cheech, what were your impressions or your final verdict?
The game is just completely useless to me. I'm not just kidding. It's a pretty well-made game. And like Ariel said, the story is just spot on. You actually develop some feels for these people as the story keeps going. Combat, they have definitely improved their shooting formula. You can actually shoot people now with better accuracy. But yeah, it's just the package all around, the presentation, the story, just what nails it. And I believe like they did give the proper send-off to the series. They did a pretty good job at the end. It is definitely a Game of the Year contender. Would it be the Game of the Year? We don't know yet, but it's definitely a contender. We don't know what's coming out yet, so it's pretty well. It's pretty good, and it's really pushing what the PlayStation 4 could do. The game looks beautiful. Like there were some scenes where I was like, "Oh damn, am I playing this on a console?" Like, what's going on here?
Especially what they did with the animations, man. Oh my god! Like the facial animations. You're like, are these real people just digitized or something? Like they were so like intricate, those animations that they were doing with the face.
Yeah, they were pretty damn good. It's like, wow, you know. It shows what Naughty Dog has done before. You can also tell that the Last of Us, some of the Last of Us people actually use
the Last of Us is written all over that game.
Yeah, like the fact that you're walking around and you see the people talking to each other and whatnot, like saying jokes here and there while you're playing. It's like it makes you be like you're there. It's like, okay, you know, people are alive. I'm playing this game and they're talking to each other and whatnot. You hear conversations here and there, stories between them. So it just keeps going. It was pretty well done. It's pretty well done.
Yeah, you know what I was gonna say? It's that those animations is when you have the interaction, say Nathan and Elena, and when they're just talking, especially chapter 4. You know, they're just in the house, they're talking, and he's daydreaming about going on an adventure.
No, chapter 11 gives you the feels better.
No, but I'm just giving an example of how well the facial animation is, because you see when she's trying to question him, it's like, oh, what did I just say? And you just see like the curious like eyebrow go up, and just like you know, just the facial muscles saying they didn't have to say anything, but you can kind of tell like how their emotion is, and that's just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely did a great job. And I would say that for those who have played 1, 2, and 3, it's an even better experience overall, only because you've developed these connections with Drake and his friends along the way. And to kind of see it resolve with 4, you're just like, man, this is it.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of played tribute to that very well.
So,
with the exception of a few things, but that's getting into spoiler territory.
So we won't spoil it. Not here. The way I like to think about reviewing games is, subjectively, like how the game is, and the best way to do it is just what the game is, not what the game you want.
Give it a score, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. As you guys may not have known, like the Washington Post shitted on the game, and there is so much protest about it.
Oh, really? I didn't even hear about that one.
They're the ones that gave them 4 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And sometimes websites will do that just so they can get hits and not give a clear presentation. And I read the article. He does go into some points, but a lot of it's just abstract.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't go into like real detail in the overall on why it's like it deserves that score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is. Like personally for me, like I said, I feel like this in terms of the action genre, or just gaming as a whole, I feel like Naughty Dog just gets storytelling, and like creating a game where you have a goal and your goal is seeing the end of that story, and they just drive you through it. The whole way you feel invested, and you will with this game as well.
Yeah. But yeah, game of the year for me right now, and that's not to take anything away from Overwatch, but another thing, like people are going crazy with the IGN score because the reviewer did it to, they happened to give Rise of the Tomb Raider a 9.3 and gave Uncharted 4 a 9, and some of her valid points was the third act drags on, and we all beat it. Do you guys, Ariel, do you know anything about it dragging on in the third act?
You know what? I will have to agree with her.
Like, I'm trying to think.
I will have to agree with her because when it came to the third act for me is, without spoiling, there comes a point in time towards the end of the game where you feel like you've reached the end, and then it opens up again, and then you're just like, well, okay, I was ready for it to finish. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to there's no way to talk about it without spoiling it. But for me, there was a point in time in the game where, it just reached that way. I thought it was just about done, and now I have to play more. Not to say that was a bad thing, because, again, when it resolved, when I got that ending, and then when you got the epilogue, I was just like, this was awesome all the way through. But I feel like it was a little long. Not to say that would take away from the game. I don't think it would. I just feel like it was a little bit longer than it probably should have been in that aspect. But not to say it doesn't ruin the game in any way.
Okay, you know what? I think I know where you're talking about. Where you think it ends, but it's not about to.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Cheech? Do you agree with that? That Uncharted is worse than Tomb Raider?
I don't know, because it's a bittersweet situation here, because they both have something I want and I like between them. Graphically, it's just tough, man. It's just tough. I put it this way: I love the Uncharted way of telling the story and whatnot, because it's just freaking spot on. Mm-hmm. But I do prefer the Uncharted, the Tomb Raider combat a lot better.
Oh yeah, the combat actually in Tomb Raider.
Yeah, so it's just kind of, they're both great games. But if I would have to pick one, I would guess I'll give it to Uncharted, just because the story just completes it, and it's just pretty damn well done. And they did improve their combat, their shooting scenarios a lot better than the previous installment, so I was happy about that. Okay,
so this leads into our next one, and I'm gonna just throw out this news here. Street Fighter V shipped out only about 1.4 million. Right.
I'm laughing because I'm thinking Cheats is probably like, oh, Street Fighter again.
Yeah.
It literally popped up my head right now.
Yeah. And on top of that, Capcom said that they will delay games now until they're complete as a result of Street Fighter.
Congratulations. You play yourself.
Yes. And here, this is why the reason why I bring it up is because Uncharted 4, I think once it hits past the 3 mark, it becomes a legacy game. So was it Uncharted 4 that, compared to the reboot of Tomb Raider, were we expecting more from Uncharted 4 to be better than how much better you wanted Tomb Raider, the reboot, to the second Tomb Raider?
Wait, what? Can you repeat your question, Greg?
Okay. Because you know how we got into the whole legacy thing. Street Fighter, when it first released, it was an online game only.
Yeah.
Or you would say it's an online game only, right?
Mm-hmm. For the most part.
Compared to Overwatch, which is an online game only, only has several modes, yet everyone praises it and everyone shitted on Street Fighter 5. Mm. And the expectations with sequels, then it always has to be better than the next, better than the next, better than the next.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it like this: Uncharted 4 had such a high expectations that it hit it for most people, but compared to the expectations that you would think for Rise of the Tomb Raider, it's too much. So you would grade it at a certain level of your expectations, saying, "Oh, the game should have been like this," and because it's not like this, I'm going to give it a lower score.
Yeah, I mean that kind of gets into the conversation that we had, just ourselves, like via the group chat that we have. Well, it's more or less like a critique on the way in which games are reviewed, as opposed to which game is better than the other one, what deserves a 9. It's not really about that in terms of, I guess, the way that we're looking at it. It's more so the fact that, is the game great? Does it set out to do what it's looking to do? All right. And I mean, for me, at least with Uncharted, I don't really care if it was better than 1, 2, or 3. I just want to know if that game was great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, did it deliver what they were trying to deliver? I think they delivered above and beyond. They delivered a great experience with that game. That's really all I was looking for. And that's kind of for me where I feel the disconnect is with the critiques, with reviewers currently, or the big media outlets, is that they don't look at it from that sense. Instead, they start comparing it to other games and doing all this kind of back and forth. Well, the last game didn't do this, but this game's doing that. It's review the game you have at hand. That's the way I see it, at least.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's why when I first started the show, Cheech, you said you don't know if Uncharted 4 is Game of the Year because right now it's all about Overwatch, right?
Oh, no, by no means. I'm not giving Overwatch Game of the Year.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Could be a contender, but it's rare to see a shooter go hit. It will be Shooter of the Year. That's almost guaranteed.
Unless
Game of the Year is normally reserved for a game that has multiplayer, single player, great story, good gameplay. It's the whole package type of thing. You barely see Game of the Year. I mean, have Call of Duty ever been a Game of the Year?
No. Well, maybe the first Modern Warfare actually. Call of Duty 4. So Modern Warfare.
Really, Game of the Year should be the game that pushed the industry forward.
Yeah, I mean, like Witcher 3 deserved that left or right last year. The Fallout deserver? Hell freaking no. Fallout 4 did not deserve Game of the Year at all. I don't know what the whole fighting was, because the game was completely inferior than the previous installment.
Oh no, inferior. It just, you were expecting more.
No, I mean, when you know the story of the game within the first 10 hours of playing it compared to the previous installment, it's just a fail there.
No, I get you. Because you're expecting it as a big jump between, say, Elder Scrolls 4 and Elder Scrolls 5.
I mean, at least make it the same.
Yeah, both of them were... It was a real upgrade between both of them, and Skyrim is an awesome game. Whereas the jump between Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 really isn't that big.
I mean, they downgraded the story. That's just...
Hey, but that's essentially why when we have the funny thing is when we have these conversations internally, we like Cheech and I usually butt heads because we look at it differently.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, since we're at it, like, our whole conversation started with the whole Street Fighter 5 and Overwatch. Like, everyone goes like, oh, this is BS, why is Overwatch being scored so high when it's almost the same thing as Street Fighter with the single player only, and they're like a content. I'm like, well, Did Street Fighter launch flawlessly with no issues? No. And then to this day, there's still issues.
No, there's not that many big issues.
There's not that many big issues, but people still can play Battle.net correctly, and all the little bugs have popped up here and there. Then it was like, does Street Fighter requires you to pay contests and whatnot? Or Overwatch does? Well, technically, you either buy the season bands or you do an insane freaking crazy ass grind just to get your points. Well,
it's really going to be the same thing with Overwatch, isn't it?
Yeah. Overwatch is free download content.
No, but you still have to grind for all of your skins and everything.
Cosmetics. I'm not talking about new characters or stages.
Well, that's the thing. If you did the bare minimum, say like the survival mode and the story mode, you can buy like 3 to 4 characters off the bat.
3 to 4. And how many are they releasing?
They're releasing 6 to 4.
Well, is Blizzard doing like the character? Because they're going to be introducing a new character soon, right?
Yeah, they're going to be doing new heroes and stages, and that will be free.
Now, are these heroes? The heroes are confirmed free.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be free.
They're now splitting their community. That's basically the whole point. And that's one thing that they're also doing better is. Capcom was not really straight up to the community with a lot of things until 2 weeks before launch, while Blizzard has been straight up exactly telling you what the game is going to be. This is what you're getting. This is the support that we're giving you guys. That's why people actually like Splatoon and Overwatch. They're like, okay, they're both online-only games. They're both succeeded. What actually made it that way is the communication between the developer and the gamers. It's pretty spot on, very spot on.
No, Capcom did it for a whole month.
No.
It wasn't 2 weeks, and they actually have They had a giant art,
Well, the arcade stuff and whatnot came up a little off, like kind of 2 weeks.
No,
just, what people were bitching about mostly.
Well, because they kind of showed their whole game plan early on, and it was during Capcom Pro Tour or the Capcom Cup.
It was December.
Yeah,
right?
Where they kind of showed exactly what they were looking to do, where everything was going to be technically free in the sense that you can unlock it, and that's the same for all the characters that are going to be coming out. But it's really no different than because the thing is, Street Fighter is going for more of a League of Legends approach, where you can unlock everything, you just have to keep playing the game.
Which is a good model. I mean, that's how you're going to keep people playing the game.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Overwatch is doing it, well, we'll give you everything, but then you have to either grind for additional things, like more so cosmetic things, or you can buy loot packs or loot boxes, and hope to get these elite costumes. So, I mean, the way they're approaching it, although slightly different, it's at its core pretty much the same. It's really going to be grindy in that sense.
I mean, except you're not grinding an entire character. The character is just there for you, which is something people will want, and something that changes gameplay. A cosmetic thing doesn't really changes nothing.
No, but like I said, you can still grind for... See, this is the thing. Don't forget, when you get the new characters, you do the story mode with them. You get to do the cinematic story mode. And if you do the base survival, which is like the easy, you'll still have... From those 4 characters you buy... will have enough money to buy the next one and the next one. It carries over. It's not like those new characters don't get you money. But the biggest thing, and the reason why this whole argument happened, was because content-wise they were almost the same. Yes, Capcom did terrible on its online launch, which, for the most part, I would say it was fixed by the weekend. Ariel, would you agree? Because we played it the most during that.
During that time we were playing it a lot, and I feel like in terms of getting matches and playing it, that kind of resolved itself fairly quickly.
Yeah. And
where they failed, I would say, is just the whole networking portion of it all, considering the betas that they have. Just the way they handled betas, that shit was an atrocity. You would think they would have left that open for them to gather more data and get it all worked out for release. That's where I think they failed miserably, and they started kind of this trickling effect of just negative feedback and negative response to the game was the way they handled beta, and that kind of carried into release. Whereas Overwatch had betas where people could just keep playing them for days at a time, and it's Blizzard. They've been doing networking for online games for a long time, so they kind of have down. And they got all the
Warcraft
information they needed. Yeah. I agree. Capcom handled the way that they led into launch miserably, but doesn't take away from what the game is. It's Like, you know what I mean? It's a great game, and the reason, like, you know, why we're kind of arguing the way in which these games were like received by the audience generally is because they really offer just about the same sort of content, just kind of different business models, right? And really, in my perspective, this goes back to, you know, kind of critiquing the game you have at hand. Should something like price, let's say price to performance, right? When you're talking about like products that you buy, should like price or value come into play at that point when you're giving a score? Like if you're somebody who gives a score, come into play?
Yeah, I mean, when Cheat, I'll bring it back to what Cheat says before about like the legacy is that, you know, the content and the legacy. Street Fighter, you know, has a very long lineage, and a lot of people were expecting just a basic thing to be in it, which is arcade mode, which in itself is archaic. I'm gonna say, because all these games aren't in the arcade anymore. If you remember what an arcade was, and survival mode pretty much is almost like arcade mode.
It's pretty much what it is, yeah. I mean, in terms of Street Fighter.
But Cheech, do you think Overwatch should have been free to play and then everything else in it, or do you think it was justified for them to charge $40, $60, $120?
I would justify the $40. I don't justify the $60. But hey, console gamers, that's what you pay. And the only reason why it's $60, which a lot of people don't understand, is like, hey, you still gotta pay a retail fee, you still gotta pay Microsoft, you still gotta pay Sony. And at the end of the day, they're probably getting as much money as the PC version after all the cuts that they have to give out. And that's why it's 40. I mean, that's why it's 60. And then for PC, they have the digital store, they have their own stuff. They don't have to deal with any of the older stuff. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, through history, I mean, how much did you get Doom for PC, Ariel?
How much did I buy it for?
Yeah.
I think it was like $42 or $45, something like that.
So, you know, it's just history repeats itself. PC gaming games tend to be a lot cheaper on release than consoles. Now, with the amount of should the game be free to play? I'll say no. The game would not have been released in this level of quality free to play. I mean, if you look at the quality of this game, it's just you have a lot of characters. They're all well optimized. They all feel unique in its own way. Like you feel you play one character, and then you play another one. It's just totally different. They feel unique. It's highly polished and optimized. And not only that, but you do have the backing of Blizzard and content that will still give you stuff for free. I think the $40 is it's just justifiable, to be honest. I mean, I played the game already between alpha, beta, and live. I played it for more than 40 hours already. I'm not even close to being bored.
Oh, yeah. We have some, not live streams, but we have some live recordings where me, Cheech, our friend Tom, and Ariel, you're playing, but you don't seem to talk. I don't know why.
Well, I didn't even know you guys were in a chat or anything.
No, you didn't. You don't hear us talking?
No, I don't hear you guys talking.
You probably had to join the channel then.
Oh, okay, yeah. They tell you press P to join the channel, and then you can hear us talking and whatnot.
Oh, because I'm like, I wonder if they're even on Skype or something.
No, we're not. Yeah, and I was yelling at you. I'm like, Ariel, move over here. Yeah, move over there. I gotta hear you. I'm like, no wonder.
I'm like, okay, I guess we're just playing.
Okay, yeah. And I'm gonna say that's why. Because there's a good amount of publications that came out with reviews for Overwatch, and it's getting extremely high scores. And that's because with Overwatch, this is their first game in terms of that series. So no one had any high expectations, and everyone that just goes into it just has a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. While with Street Fighter, there's a certain amount of expectations. Therefore, the reviews tend to dip.
That.
I mean, shit, I even have fun at Overwatch by losing a match. Who does that?
Yeah, I know. Especially those last couple matches where we're like, we almost stopped them and then they won. We're like, fuck.
Yeah, didn't we have another one like that though? But then we ended up coming out on top at the very end.
Yeah, and then
it was great.
Like, Overwatch feels like the developers themselves really wanted to make the game.
Yeah, Ariel, you were the play of the game in that one.
Well, for the last one, yeah, because I was just freezing them.
you bought us enough time for us to freaking rest and get back in there.
But I'm like, really? Nobody's gonna turn around and shoot me? Okay. I'll just stand here and just freeze you guys slowly or slow you down.
I should have recorded our matches because those were good. Well, that's another thing. I showed you those videos. Didn't you hear us talking in the videos?
I haven't watched them yet, actually.
You know what?
But honestly, I was like, okay, I guess we're playing it old school.
But Overwatch is great, and that's the only thing about reviews and everything right now. That I just wanted to bring up was just that, the legacy thing, the expectations, and how it just affects. Like Ariel would said, there's no standard of reviews.
I mean, ultimately, and I think what we can all agree on is fuck the number. Fuck the number that you see at the end of the review, because I don't feel like it, I'm not sure if you guys agree, I don't feel like it properly reflects what a game is. I think people focus too much on the number and not so much the content of the review, which essentially tells you everything you need to know, corresponding to whether or not you're actually interested in buying a game,
I mean, don't worry about the number. There's so many. We live in a digital world right now. There's so many ways for you to find out if you won the game, if you like it. You got Twitch, for example. That's your number one resource. You can go there, you see people play it, and people that are usually playing that game, they will sort of stir it up if it sucks or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Make your own informed decisions based on the information out there.
Cheech, would you like to add anything else to our overall conversation?
No, I'm good. More Overwatch, more mercy saving lives. Saving lives matters.
Cheech is an awesome healer. He was my twos partner.
Yeah. I'll say for somebody who didn't even know that I wasn't listening to anything, he had my back, man.
He was the one healing you at the end.
Yeah, I was like, God damn it.
Ariel, anything you want to add?
No, it's nice to know that you guys are in the chat now. So, next time we play, I can actually know what's going on.
Don't worry, tomorrow. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email us at insertcointp@gmail.com. You can tweet us at ICTOPLAY on Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and iTunes. So thanks for listening, everyone.
I got
See ya.